The new Apple iPad Pro 2022 is coming, and I'll be sharing the details right after this. Today, we've got great news about the new Apple iPad Pro 2022, including some clarification on previous leaks. Before we get started though, like the video if you're an Apple fan. So first up, we had news from Mark Gurman at the start of January to say that the new iPad Pro design is coming with wireless charging, and we now have more information. Now, many sources are claiming that the new iPad Pro 2022 is going to have a large Apple logo on the back, and that it's also going to be made of glass to allow for the wireless charging. Now, it seems like a great idea to the solution, although 9to5Mac disagree and report that Apple scrapped this idea after testing due to their concerns about breakability. Now, this seems a little bit strange to me, considering many phones have a full glass rear panel, and thanks to products like Gorilla Glass, they do stand a lot of day-to-day use. But 9to5Mac report that there's going to be stronger MagSafe magnets in the iPhone, and this is to help with the wireless charging. But either way, it looks like Apple are working on improved wireless charging speeds for the new iPad Pro. Now, next up, we've got news of large OLED displays for the iPad Pros after BOE converted one of its factories to produce up to 15-inch OLED displays. We also have news of LG also preparing large OLED displays for Apple, and this is believed to be for future iPad models. Now, this all seems to be true, but it's more likely for a newer iPad Pro model coming in the future and not the one coming this year. Ross Young tweeted to say that there's no OLED in the iPad Pro 2022 and that they're still going to be using mini LED. When it comes to display leaks, Ross Young is always very accurate, so we can be pretty sure that he's also correct this time. Now, of course, the main upgrade to the new iPad Pro is going to be in the chipset, and the iPad Pro 2022 is going to be powered by Apple's new M2 chipset. Now, the chip is going to be based on a 3nm node, and it's expected to be 15% faster than its predecessor's 5nm chip. Now, according to most sources, we're expecting the iPad Pro 2022 to launch in the middle of this year, and focus seems to be on performance and usability instead of a complete redesign. The current design is already proving to be very popular, so focusing on refinement is a very good move. Now, again, it's going to come in a choice of 11-inch or 12.9-inch displays for those of you that do want the bigger screen, and we're going to get the same premium looking iPad but with improvements in the important hardware. So this is going to be things like chipset and display. We'll likely see camera upgrades as well as others, and no specific date has been given for its release, but I estimate that we're going to be seeing it around May 22. Now, for those of you excited for the new iPad Pro, we're now going to run through the full specs, design, and the expected pricing to help you guys decide if it is worth the wait. For my regular viewers, you guys have seen this, so just skip to the next video, but if you're new here, then hit subscribe now and we'll get right into it. So to start with, we've got the 11-inch iPad Pro. It will of course be an 11-inch display, and unlike last time, it's going to be using mini LED technology. We get a 120Hz display with full HDR support and a peak brightness of around 1700 nits. It's going to come with a resolution of 1668 by 2388, giving us 265 pixels per inch. On the front, we get a 12-megapixel selfie camera capable of 1080p at 60 frames a second, and when it comes to the rear, we're expecting a 12-megapixel wide angle, a 12-megapixel ultra wide, and a 3D LiDAR scanner. It's going to be powered by the Apple M2, which is a very powerful 3nm chipset, and it's going to come with a choice of 8 or 16GB of RAM, along with storage configurable all the way up to 2TB. It's going to be powered by a 28.65 watt-hour battery with support for wireless and reverse wireless charging, and it's also going to support 5G, including millimeter wave for the cellular models. It's going to be shipping with iPadOS 15, and unfortunately Touch ID is not going to be making a return, so Face ID is going to be the only biometric unlock available. When it comes to the pricing, it won't be a huge change from its predecessor, so we can expect the 11-inch iPad Pro to start from $800 or £750. Next up, we've got the 12.9-inch iPad Pro. It will again be a 12.9-inch mini LED display offering HDR10 and Dolby Vision. It's going to be a 120Hz display with a resolution of 2048 by 2732, and while similar to its predecessor, we're expecting a higher peak brightness of around 1700 nits.
We're expecting a single selfie camera embedded in the bezel on the front, and again it's likely to be a 12 megapixel camera supporting 1080p at 60 frames a second. On the rear we're expecting a dual camera setup consisting of a 12 megapixel wide angle, a 12 megapixel ultra wide and the additional LiDAR scanner. It's going to be powered by Apple's 3nm M2 chipset, and we're expecting a choice of 8 or 16 gigs of RAM, and storage is going to be configurable all the way up to 2 terabytes. It's going to be powered by a 40.88 watt-hour battery along with wireless and reverse wireless charging, and again it's going to support 5G with millimeter wave for the cellular models. When it comes to the pricing, the 12.9-inch iPad Pro is going to be starting from around $1,100 or £1,000 in the UK. So there's plenty of leaks coming in, and while we can be pretty sure on a lot of the specs going by the previous releases, we'll no doubt get more and more confirmations over the coming months. It's great to see that the 11-inch iPad Pro is now featuring mini LED, and this will no doubt be an exciting release for many. Now if any more information comes in, I'll be sharing it straight away, but as always I'd like to know your thoughts in the comments. So who's excited for the new Apple iPad Pro, and what model are you waiting for? But thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, smash a thumbs up. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down twice, and I'll see you guys in the next one.